Well, Michael Bever's attorneys tried and failed again today to have the case thrown out. They argued what they've been arguing all along, that to deny him the opportunity to be tried as a juvenile is unconstitutional. Oklahoma law says Michael Bever, who was 16 during his family's murder, is an adult in the eyes of the law.
The United States Supreme Court has indicated that a life without parole sentence for a juvenile is in many ways the functional equivalent of the death penalty.
Life without parole is what Michael would get if convicted as an adult. All attempts at the state level to change that have been denied, including Wednesday. He'll go to trial next June.
I'm not going to concern myself with what their defense is. I know what my facts are, and I'll put those up in front of 12 tried and true any day of the week.
District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler says he'd like to keep the oldest surviving sister from having to testify, but will do it if that's what it takes to get Michael convicted. Robert Bever avoided trial and the death penalty by pleading guilty Wednesday. His attorneys alluded to what has only been hinted at, the why in this entire tragedy.
Our client probably will have an easier life in the penitentiary than he had at home.
Kunzweiler says he heard what the defense has to say about their home life, but did not hear anything that convinced him Robert did not deserve the death penalty. He says in the end, it was the hardship it would have caused for the surviving sisters.
If the circumstances were different, if I didn't have young children to worry about their future, we may not even be having this conversation.
Now, Robert Bever has 10 days to change his mind about the guilty plea. If not, then the DOC will evaluate him and choose the facility at which he will spend the rest of his life. Michael Bever goes to trial next June. Reporting live in downtown Tulsa, covering news that matters, I'm Lynn Casey, Fox 23 News.
Fox 23's Jonathan McCall continues our live team coverage now, where neighbors of the Bever brothers are supporting the DA's decision not to go after the death penalty. Jonathan.
A lot of them people here in this neighborhood today, Shay, were shocked that this actually happened. This plea happened today. They expected Robert Bever to drag this incident out in court for as long as possible. Take a look at some video that we have for you tonight. It was inside of this house where those brutal attacks took place some 5 years ago. 5 members of the Bever family were found dead. 2 sisters did survive. Robert Bever did plead guilty today to all 6 counts and was sentenced to life without parole. The news is a huge relief for this neighborhood still coping with that tragedy. Julie Wallace says that she'll be paying close attention to what happens with Michael Bever, but she believes that District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler did the right thing by not making the surviving sisters testify.
The older girl has already gone through so much. To force her to testify against her brothers to, for a death sentence it's just putting her through more.
And Wallace says that today's news is the very first step in a long road to healing for this entire neighborhood. Tonight on Fox 23 News at 9, I'll tell you the one thing she says can completely heal the wounds from this tragedy, and it involves that house. We're live tonight in Broken Arrow, covering news that matters. Jonathan McCall, Fox 23 News.